In the spotlight tonight, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid has told the Democratic senators from New York that after the START treaty vote, the Senate will hold a vote on the 9/11 Health and Compensation Act. The bill will provide care to workers who developed health issues stemming from the World Trade Center rescue and recovery effort. Jon Stewart dedicated Thursday's Daily Show to criticizing Senate Republicans who filibustered the $7.4 billion bill earlier this month because it was too expensive, and Democrats had yet to agree to extend the Bush tax rates for the wealthiest Americans. Stewart also attacked Senator Kyle's assertion that considering legislation around Christmas is disrespectful to Christians.
So basically what he's saying is, I can't stay here and work between Christmas and New Year's. That would be disrespecting Christians and his family. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It just goes to show the disconnect between those we elect to represent us and those that get out there and do the work. Because I'm here to say that you won't find a single New York City firefighter who considers it a sign of disrespect to work in a New York City firehouse on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Since then, New York Senators Schumer and Gillibrand have reached out to Senate Republicans in hopes of getting the bill passed before Christmas.
I believe that we have more than enough votes that we need to pass this legislation. We have worked extremely close with a number of our Republican colleagues and have made a series of changes to the bill to accommodate their support. We have reduced the size of the legislation. We've reduced the cost by more than $1 billion, from $7.4 billion to $6.2 billion. And this will not diminish the health care that we are able to provide for these heroes. We have also changed the way we will pay for this bill. Let me note that unlike a lot of things in Washington, this bill is fully paid for.
One of the beneficiaries of the 9/11 First Responders Bill will be the Fire Department of New York's Lieutenant Martin Fulham. For weeks, he sifted through the Ground Zero toxic debris in search of survivors of the attack. He soon developed a rare autoimmune disease that only affects 1 in 100,000 people. 6 of the 8,000 first responders have developed the disease. Joining me now, New York firefighter Lieutenant Martin Fulham, also the president of the New York State AFL-CIO, Dennis Hughes. Lieutenant Fulham, talk us through what this bill is about, and why is it that the New York City Fire Department has not been able, through its own normal health plan, to provide you with everything you need?
Well, okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here tonight. What the bill is going to provide for us, it's not just firefighters, but remember, it's also for police officers, for the people in the trades who work down at that site, as well as even civilians and people who lived south of 14th Street. And the bill is going to be able to pay our medical bills, which is it's our biggest expense. For me, it's a tremendous amount of money. My first 6 weeks in a hospital, when I got sick in 2005 for the first time, the bill was $320,000 for 6 weeks in a hospital. And as far as the New York City Fire Department, they see this as a national issue, not a local issue, and that's why they're looking for the federal government to pay for it. And all my bills are paid through other sources than the New York City Fire Department. Right now, I have Medicare, I have GHI, and we have some money from the American Red Cross, and every year we have a fund that gets renewed through the federal government to help pay our bills, but we have no set way of paying my medical bills, and I personally need this to live, to pay my bills, pay my medical expenses, as well as other people. Our care it's quite extensive, and the illnesses are far-ranging, everything from lung diseases to cancers, and it's very serious. And it affects at least 100,000 people.
Yes. That was actually my next question, is how many people does it affect? Because $6 billion is a lot of money, and when you talk about 8,000 first responders, it turns out it's a much larger group than that. Dennis, let's listen to Senator Jon Kyl on Fox News Sunday, who said that the bill is a lot of money, and he is, quote, skeptical about the bill.
It's one thing to make an emotion appeal to say we need to care for somebody who did something good. It's another to do it in a sensible way. And that's all we're asking for. You bring it up in the lame duck session with no opportunity to amend it, and you're probably going to make bad legislation. All of this could have been done earlier, I might add.
Dennis, can you address Senator Kyle's concerns, exactly how this bill would work, how it was developed? I mean, this bill was not developed in December of 2010.
You know, we've been trying to get this passed for about 7 years now, since it started in the House. I want to point out to the senator that it started with, in the Senate, conversations with Hillary Clinton in about 2006-7. There's been 22 hearings in the Senate. There's been ample changes in the bill that anyone could have participated in, but the bill has shrunk in size, as Senator Gillibrand said. It had we looked at it from many different ways. We changed the way it's paid for, so that it would be more acceptable to the Senate. So I really don't understand the senator's. I guess he just wasn't paying attention through most of this. But I also want to say that we want his vote, because all Americans benefit from taking care of those who were injured, like my friend Marty Fulham, on September 11th, dealing with that tragedy.
Lieutenant Fulham, do you encounter any doubt among these Republicans and others that maybe some of these illnesses are not related to that maybe some of these illnesses were going to occur anyway? Is that part of what's going on here?
I could imagine there are illnesses. It's such a large group of people. I mean, but I know New York, as far as the New York City Fire Department is concerned, all our time is documented. Our illnesses are all documented. Anybody who wants to come in and scrutinize it is more than welcome to. They can talk to, I guess, Dr. Prezant from New York City Fire Department, who oversees all this. But I think the numbers would show otherwise, statistics.
If I can, there's 22 classifications, I believe, of direct respiratory and esophageal problems that are set up.
Yes.
There's ways of verifying exactly who was there, what the effects were. We went out of our way to make sure that it did take care of those who needed the help directly. There's safeguards in this bill that if they read it through, they would understand that this is a very, very serious attempt at trying to make sure that compensation only goes to those who need it. You have to remember, this has taken 7 years to put in place. It's not something that we've done over the weekend. And I want to say this, if I can, really quickly. Time is our enemy here. After the START treaty, it goes to the full Senate. It passes, and I have assurances from Senator Schumer and Gillibrand that it will, because they've worked this really hard. Then it has to go back to the House. And if the House leaves before it's done in the Senate, or other technical roadblocks are put in place, we could lose this. Time is really our enemy, and we have to get it done before the end of this session.
Lieutenant Fulham, I know you're not healthy enough to do this, but if you could go down to Washington and maybe chase a senator down the hallway on the way to a vote, and you had a few seconds to just get a word in, if you could talk to a Republican opponent of this bill, what would be the one thing you would want to say?
I would just say, we need your help. It's a matter of pride that the United States pays for this and helps us out. We were there when they needed us. We never questioned it, and we never will. As far as the New York City Fire Department is concerned, we had 2 occupied buildings that day that were in trouble, and we weren't going to leave them, and we weren't going to leave the people, the citizens of New York, and citizens of the United States. And for us, it's a matter of pride that our government pays for this. It was a national attack. Okay.
Thank you both for your time. Lieutenant Martin Fulham, formerly of the New York City Fire Department, and Dennis Hughes of the AFL-CIO. Thank you both.
Thank you, Lawrence.